What's up, guys? So I'm here sitting in my car after a long day. It's Friday right now, so after a long week of very hard work. My job is a very physical job currently. I'm still fairly new at it. I'm only on my third month, and it is, I would say, the hardest job I've ever had, I ever kept, but it's also the highest paying job I ever had. So that's what comes with the things we want in life sometimes, like, well, pretty much every time. Difficult things typically have the highest payout, the highest reward. So it's great to do more difficult things. And that's the contrast in life. There's no light without dark, there's no day without night. The harder something is, the higher the reward, 9 times out of 10. And those are the things you have to pursue and set your mind to. It's not going to be easy, and you got to really dedicate yourself to it if it's worth it. You got to have a strong witness in times of adversity. By that I mean, you have to kind of separate yourself from your emotions a lot of times, because we are not our emotions, but it's easy to get caught up in those feelings and believe that that's what we are. And those things, your emotions, does determine a lot of your reality. And if you can separate yourself from them, then you get to choose in each situation, as hard as it is. But it's very important to do that. And it's that's why having a strong witness, when you get caught up here in your emotions, you could always catch yourself and step back. But it's a conscious decision, and you gotta really you're not gonna be in a good mood and the positive emotions all the time. It's just impossible, but when you're feeling those low emotions, it's just good to catch yourself as quick as possible. And even if you're not catching yourself, just realize that, hey, this is gonna pass. Just keep pushing through. Have different methods, different ways of how you can mentally and physically get out of that. Do a physical act, working out, or just being active or something can help to snap you back. And also, when you're feeling positive, really ride that wave of positivity. Let it last as long as it can. Don't just brush it off and be really immerse yourself in good feelings whenever you have a reason to feel good, or even no reason at all. Just have that strong emotional spark, because that's what's going to help to propel you into having more of those type of moments and having things happen in your life that match that feeling. That's really what trauma is. Trauma can be positive too. You can have positive trauma, a very strong trauma is basically a strong spark of emotion that happens, and then it kind of causes you to relive that moment and have other things that's similar to that emotion in that moment happen to you. So if you can do the same thing with positivity. You could traumatize yourself in a positive way by just that strong emotional spark. That's positive emotional spark. So it's going to be you really immerse yourself in that feeling when it happens, and that's going to cause you to now have future positive things come into your life easier. And then now you could always revert back and think back to that moment whenever you have a negative thing going on in your life or a negative emotion. You can always think back to that positive spark, that reminder, that strong, that reason to be in a good mood. This week was very tough for me though. This week is this job is so crazy that and I'm sure some of y'all could relate to having this high stress job, a high stress. Be careful what you ask for, but you know what? Don't even be careful what you ask for, because that's what happens when you can't ask for a better life without getting the contrast of it. You can't ask to make more money and not have the problems of what it comes with doing what requires to make more money. A lot of times it's not the money itself. If that gives you, they say more money, more problems. Well, a lot of times the money itself is not what causes the problems. It's what has to be done to get that money. Sometimes it's the money too. If you lack discipline, you could do a lot of stupid stuff with money that will cause you to have issues. But for the most part, the things that have to be done to get money is difficult. 9 times out of 10. But that's what it takes. I asked for a high paying job and a higher paying job, at least from what I'm used to. If you ask some people, this is not a lot of money, but for me, I'm making a decent amount of money. Like I get paid every week, and my bill is this paycheck that is dominating my bills. Like my bills get paid, and I have money left over, like a good amount, which is like not used to it. And a lot of people are not used to that. But the job is so stressful. Like during the week, like I used to get paid every 2 weeks. Now I'm getting paid every week. But the job is so stressful. Like this, each week feels like 2 weeks in one. And like I have to really talk myself through most days. I work 5 days, so like 3 out of 5 days, I really gotta talk myself through every hour of the day to like just keep going, and it's ridiculous. But it's like I have to I gotta do it, at least for now, because we have goals. Like I have goals. We have a reason for doing this. I got to this point in my life because my past self had goals. I'm living in a goal that I had before, and I gotta catch myself sometimes when I'm feeling negative about where I'm at, or feeling sad, or just anger, because I gotta catch myself, because I asked for this. I literally asked for this, and I'm getting both sides of what I asked for. I'm getting the extra money now, but I'm getting the extra stress. And like we oftentimes forget that the things that we want comes with two sides, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with both sides of it, because it's worth it. It's worth it, especially as a man. That it's worth it. You want a beautiful girl, bro? You're gonna have the benefits of having a beautiful girl, whatever the good parts of it, but also the negative parts. Guys are gonna talk to your girl. She may be have certain types of emotion. She may be expensive. Whatever they come with, but you gotta take both sides of it, and you gotta decide if it's worth it or not. And I believe with success, it should be worth it. It's worth it for me. Even in certain moments, you may have doubt, you may have despair, a lot of low emotions. You gotta catch yourself, and it's a daily process. It is a daily process, and that's life. That's just life, and that's just what it is, and you gotta accept it. And right now, I'm talking very strongly about it, but I'm telling you, if you saw me during the week, I had a lot of low moments, but that's just what it comes with. Sometimes you just gotta shut up, keep your head down, and just go for hours. And what helped me get to this point, because I had low moments prior to getting this, obviously, to get to this point. When you have goals and specific, that's why they always say to specify the things you want in your goals as much as possible, because you're gonna have to revert to those specific goals whenever things get tough. And if you can't revert to an exact reason why you're doing something that's difficult, it's hard to keep going. So when you have a specific goal and you could think back like, yo, you're going through something tough right now, but yeah, I'm doing it for this reason. It pushes you. Self-investment is very important. If you want a value, which is in terms of monetary value, like money, they always say we have to become valuable ourselves. And that's what I did. That's how I got into this job, is because I invested in getting a commercial license, a Class A license. I was inspired by multiple people, other YouTubers, and people in my life that I know, to do this. And going through school and working 2 jobs at the same time to pay out of pocket for my license, it was tough. It was tough back then. And at that point in my life, that was the hardest thing I ever did. Right now, this job is the hardest thing I ever did, but back then, that was the hardest thing I ever did. But because I had a very specific goal, I knew exactly I wanted the license to do this, and that every time it got tough in school, or it got tough paying for school, and it got tough working 2 jobs while in school, I reverted to the reason why I was doing it constantly, and it helped to push me through. It helped to push me through the difficult times. And it's like, now I got to this goal, and I gotta set new goals. Now you gotta get and be specific as possible. And I feel like for me right now, it's hard to, it's not hard, but like it takes more work to get as specific as you elevate. Like right now I feel like I don't want to get complacent, because I feel like I'm making a decent amount of money, and if I stay at this job and just work it for a long period of time, I'm going to be significantly ahead of what I'm used to. But the adversities of the job, to get through those moments, I'm going to need now to have other higher specific goals. So that's what it is. And I hope anybody listening to this can relate. I hope, anybody could be inspired by this, and it helps in any type of way, because, I'm being very transparent. A lot of people are going to come on and act like they're, some of them not acting. Some people are really, on a very higher level, making unlimited amount of money. I'm just currently right now, like, I'm just a regular guy, blue collar guy. Like, I'm making more money than a lot of my peers, but that's not who I really compare myself to anymore. And some of my peers are making around the same as me or more. So it's on both sides, but it's not even. There's less of my peers that are making this type of money than there are those who are making more. There's less that's making my amount of money, and more. There's more who's making less. So yeah, just I gotta keep these goals up, keep going, and we all gotta do that. And right now I'm outside this little park that's a couple of blocks from my house, about to hit the workout. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep that up. You gotta do all that stuff. I'm thanking right now. They always say your future self will thank you for the work you're doing right now, and it's true, because I'm witnessing that right now. Like my past self has set me up to get to where I'm at right now. Like right now, like I was also working out intensely while I was in school, while I was working 2 jobs. I still found time to work out and made myself stronger and stronger, just physically. And obviously that helps with the mental also. But my job right now is a very physical job. But yeah, I got a Class A license. It's a lot of driving, but also it's a lot of physical, because I got to hop out the truck a lot and actually do stuff. And it's a very physically demanding job. And I'm thanking myself for the workouts and the strength that I gained back then to be able to do this right now. Because if I didn't work out, I'm not that big right now, but I was a lot smaller. I knew I was not going to be able to handle, if I didn't work out, I was not going to be able to handle the job I'm doing right now. There was no way. Even with a license, I'll have the driving down, but the physical aspect of it, I would not be able to do it. So being strong and being physically fit is always a plus, no matter what you're doing. It's always a plus. It gives you more options. It gives you more options, because now if I didn't have this physical aspect of me, I would just be limited to being limited job wise, and being just an on the road driver, driving state to state, just driving the big semi trucks, which I don't want to do right now. I don't really want to do it at the moment. I have family. I don't want to be away from my family, from my loved ones for too long at a periods of time. Like, that's just not something I want to do right now. But I still want to be able to make this a certain amount of money, in the field that I chose. So it's a lot going on, man. I'm very excited to start sharing this journey with everybody. I want to inspire people. I want to help, because I've been inspired so much just by consuming so much content. It has pushed me. It has helped me. It's literally carried me to where I am right now. And it's only right to pass on that energy, There's random people out there who can relate to me, because I relate to a lot of random people on the internet. And if they didn't put themselves out there and put out that content, I wouldn't have been able to receive it, and it wouldn't have done what it's done for me. So I'm doing the same thing, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. When we get to a certain point in our lives, when we get to a certain level, and we've been doing what we're supposed to do, because we've been inspired and we've helped and we've locked into ourselves. Now, after a while, even if you're not fully where you want to be at a point, you have to now start giving what you've learned to other people. And that's what's going to now propel you to higher levels. Even if you're not doing it just for that, just do it for the sake you're not doing it, you know, just because you may be rewarded or get something back. But yeah, you kind of you will. But just do it because that's a part of our purpose, and we get fulfillment from that. Like I've been talking for so long now. I didn't realize, like, before I started this camera, I didn't even know what I was gonna say. Like, it's been 15 minutes. I cannot believe it. This is very good. It's almost like journaling, you know. So it's very good, but I don't want to take too long. I gotta hit this workout. Gotta get inside. I've been working all week. Keep pushing, guys. Keep pushing. Keep doing what you have to do, and get to where you gotta go, because it's all worth it. You know, keep going. Remember everything I said in this video. Rewatch it if you need to, and a lot more content coming. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you for sticking around to end the video if you did. And yeah, let's go.